Hi, everybody. Welcome back to episode 2 of our
Hi.
podcast, the Music Scientists podcast. We have most of the same people we had last time. We have Owen and then Milan, because Neve didn't like the album.
Hello.
I just don't like. I usually like when there's like rap and stuff when it's not just like singing and nothing else.
That's
And that is
understandable.
why I find it not good.
So
Okay.
are you
Yeah.
just gonna generally only do the ones that rap and then need?
No, I'm probably gonna do more, but just like this one particular, yeah, just kind of didn't feel like doing it.
Yeah, it makes sense though, because if you don't have anything like really interesting to say about it,
All right. So are we gonna start?
So the album we'll be reviewing today is Rumours by Fleetwood Mac. Came out in 1977 and was, I don't know which album of theirs. I don't know if it was the second or the third. I think it's the third though. I don't know. Well, let's start. First song is Secondhand News.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
'Cause I've seen different track listings, and I got a little scared. We have the right one.
All right. I thought it was one of the weaker songs of the album. When I started listening, I was kind of worried that the album would sort of give me like country vibe because of the intro song, but it's still kind of
Country vibes.
I mean,
No,
I don't know
country
what
vibes.
but the song still is quite a bop when you listen to it. But it's definitely not as good as any of the other
Yeah.
songs on the album. But it's still quite a bop.
Every song on here is, even if you don't like it, it's at least a bop.
Yeah,
Yeah,
That's
totally.
one of the positives of.
like
Can
it's
also
not.
it can be interpreted as a positive and a negative.
Yeah,
For this song specifically, I really liked how it kind of had a live performance aesthetic. Feels like in a cafe and they're just putting on a live performance for you. I thought that was really nice. I don't know if any of you guys had that same feeling too, but
yeah.
kind of a weird thing.
It had a good beat. That was interesting. But when I thought it started getting pretty good when it got to the part there was like, I'm just secondhand news.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I agree.
when it got to around that part, it started getting pretty good.
I like the guitar strumming a lot.
I don't really have anything special to say about this song, just because I think it's like the third weakest on the album, but it's a good song overall.
Yeah.
I do think the male and female voices didn't mix that well on this song. I don't know how y'all felt about that, but
Yeah.
that was just something I thought.
Okay. What was your score, Milan?
I gave it an 8.
Okay. How about you,
I'm not
Owen?
very good at scoring individual songs.
I gave it a 7.5.
I gave it 7.6.
All right. All right.
Next song, Dreams. Personal
Dreams.
favorite of mine.
Yeah. So I feel the singer's what's her name?
Stevie Nicks.
Nicks. Yeah, Stevie Nicks. So Stevie Nicks, it's different. She's unique from some of Buckingham's vocals, and I thought she did a pretty good. Dreams is probably the best Nicks vocal in there. Like I always like what Buckingham did in his vocals. Like he always seems to be unique. There's a couple ones where I was kind of I don't know. Nicks didn't do as good of a job as I would have liked, but she did really good in Dreams. The chorus had pretty relaxing guitar. It gave me an 80s like electronic vibe, even though this was obviously before that. The backup voice and the chime sounds work well. Just makes a generally good background music.
Yeah, I too thought it was really relaxing, especially with the melody and the bass line. And I also loved whenever Stevie Nicks' vocals on here. It was always like a breath of fresh air in the album. I thought the lyrics were cool on the chorus too. Just a great song. The only criticism I really have for it is that it's somewhat of an awkward ending and kind of a weird transition into the next song. But still, it's a really good song. A great addition to the album.
So Dreams is one of the songs that actually got me into Fleetwood Mac. So it's definitely one of the ones that I cherish a lot. And honestly, the name is really fitting. The song feels like a dream sometimes. And I like how a lot of Stevie Nicks' songs, at least, are sort of like talking about life, especially with dreams. And it's more of like, how do I put this? So, like dreams, it's talking about the pressure that people put, I believe, on like other people. And so one of the lines, which I love the most, so it's like, have you any dreams you'd like to sell? And some of the other lines where she talks about dreams, it's really interesting because it's like sort of discussing like life, and it's interesting around that. But I give this score, or I give the song a score of 9.0.
All right, I gave it an
Oh.
8.9.
I gave it a 9.1 out of 10.
So
9.1.
we're all like, it goes 8.9 with you, Owen, 9.0 for me, and then 9.1 for you, Milan. We actually came to a pretty solid conclusion.
Actually agree. Whoa.
I know
Yeah.
we're like really agreeing on
We
this.
should be renamed the Stevie Nicks fan club.
Steven Nicks
Okay.
is pretty good.
Next song, number 3, Never Going Back Again.
So I thought it started out with a brilliant fingerstyle guitar, had a really unique melody. Like I feel like all of these songs in Fleetwood Mac, they're just really like they're unique. They don't feel like any other rock artist. Like I was getting vibes
Really?
from tons of artists that I've heard. Yeah.
I don't know. I felt like it. I didn't think it was too unique.
Well, each song was kind of different, and I thought that I love what Buckingham does with his voice in Never Going Back Again. But I usually Buckingham always has something new with his voice. The melody in Never Going Back Again without the vocals. This is the only criticism I had for the song. It kind of sounds awkward. Like if there was no vocals in the song, it would sound like I don't know. It sounded like some video game background music, and sometimes like made it sound like it was trying to be two different songs. But most of the time, it was overall a good song.
I kind of liked it, I guess. But I thought it was really badly mixed. Like I thought the guitar practically drowned out the vocals, and I thought the vocals should have been a lot more easy to hear and comprehend. Again, just really it seems to be kind of a recurring theme throughout the album. Just bad mixing, the instrumentals drowning out the voices. That was my main issue with it. I thought it had a fun guitar melody, but I didn't think it really offered much for me besides that.
Okay. I could definitely see that criticism for it. My favorite part really is just the chorus, even though it only happens like twice. I just really like the chorus in this song because it sounds, I don't know how to explain it. It's sort of nostalgic in a way, at least in my opinion. And I like I'm not good at guitar terminology, but I just like the tune of it, or whatever
Arpeggio?
riff it's playing.
Arpeggio, maybe.
I think they're arpeggios, yeah. I think
Arpeggios.
that counts. I
Yeah.
should probably know more about music theory, but
You know.
Yeah, probably. Number
Oh,
4.
wait, our scores for that were.
Yeah. Our scores.
I gave it an 8.8. How about you, Robbie?
I gave it a 7.7.
6.5.
Okay, so this one we're definitely on different sides.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay, number 4. Don't Stop.
This was really funky. I liked it. I liked this
funky
one.
in a good way. Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, definitely a banger. Yeah. I imagine this song playing in a montage, montage of like driving or car trip scenes in a movie. Like another theme I was starting to recognize in the album is they all seem to be like different scenes that could play in like a movie or something. And some of them are definitely in a lot of movies. It had a nice jazzy piano too.
I love the piano in this song.
Yeah.
And I really love the chorus too, because I wasn't sure at first what song this was when I heard it. But then as soon as I got to the chorus, I was like, oh yeah, I know this song. And I started singing along to it. So I really enjoyed this one because it's from like back from like my childhood.
And that nostalgia plays a huge role.
Oh yeah,
for me
totally.
too, and like, yeah, in my music opinions. What I really liked about this song was the instrumental layering. I thought the piano and electric guitar were great on their own, but they came together and became even better. It's catchy as hell, but I still think it could have done more with some more variation in the verses or something like that. I felt like it was missing something. Still, regardless, great song, great addition to the album.
So my score I gave for Don't Stop was an 8.0. How about you, Owen?
I gave it a 9.2.
I, like Robbie, gave it an 8.
Okay. Fifth song on the album is Go Your Own Way.
Yes, I've heard this
Alright.
many times. I didn't know it was Fleetwood Mac.
Oof.
Yeah.
Okay, Owen, what did you think of it?
All right, I love this song. It's definitely like one of my top 3 favorites in the album. This is really where I got into the album because I was listening to it. I was like, all right, this is all right, but this song, like, wow, like this is like not something that I've kind of listened to since I sort of like I haven't listened to sort of more. Is it classic rock? Would you say?
Yeah, it is. It's
Okay, I
classic.
haven't listened to classic rock since I had my whole like Queen phase, and I've really just been more of like the alternative side recently. But this is really good, and like that, I realized that when I started listening to "Go Your Own Way." This song is like I gladly sing on top of the bleachers or when riding around in a roofless car. I can also kind of like notice the bass in the song. It's really well done, along with the guitar solos near the end. And fun fact, I learned this from my dad. They used to, in the 80s, they played this song all the time at roller skating rinks. And every time it said, "Go your own way," you're supposed to turn and skate the opposite direction.
What about you, Milan?
Yeah, I also like the song. It's a classic. It's one of those songs I feel like almost everyone likes. I've never known anyone who knows the song and doesn't know like at least half of the lyrics.
Yeah.
Has a wonderful, iconic belted chorus. I thought was sang really well. It's a great guitar solo at the end to top it all off, but I still thought it was a little too repetitive. Maybe they restated the chorus a little too many times. I don't know what made me feel that way. Overall, really loved the song though.
I
Nice.
definitely get that. Definitely one of my favorite songs. And definitely like number one on the album. But I love this song because it's so like it's when I think of rap, I say that it goes hard, but this is like rock's version of going hard, and it gets you in the mood, it pumps you up, and it's a number one bop. With Go Your Own Way, my grandpa, who like loved Fleetwood Mac back in the day and still does, he actually went to a concert of theirs, and so the two main singers, Lindsey Buckingham and Stevie Nicks, they both sang the song, and at the time it was during their divorce. So he and my mom described it as like them screaming at each other, screaming the lyrics at each other, and I just think it's interesting
Oh wow.
That's
about
an
that.
interesting way of looking at it.
Yeah, definitely. I gave the song a 9.2.
Give it an 8.9.
I gave it a 9.4.
Number 6, Songbird.
All right. I thought it had a very good piano melody. I liked how it changes from like a solo to an arpeggio, and it also had very nice chords. It's very different from other songs in the album. How it's more like relaxing. I have friends who aren't really into like rock music, and I was listening to this album, and I was like, oh, you should. I don't think you'd be into this, but maybe you like Songbird because it's kind of different. But it is amazing how it's all put together, and it's definitely it's a really nice love song, that's for sure. Just what I love about this album, I probably said this before, is each song has like a completely different mood to it.
This is easily my favorite on the album. It's a wonderful, heartfelt piano ballad, with beautifully written lyrics. It's just lyrics and vocal performance just straight from the heart. You can feel the emotion. Just beautifully again, just a beautiful song. It doesn't really need a climax, and it doesn't have one. I just thought it's just a near perfect song.
So what I thought of the song is it's not my favorite, just because I don't know. I didn't really like the beginning as much. Like the beginning, like lyrics and stuff. But as soon as it starts saying like Songbird and stuff, within like the chorus and near the end of the song, I really started to enjoy it much more. Near there, at the beginning, the piano, it reminds me so much of a song I had heard in a TV show a little while ago, um, that I really enjoyed. I give the song though a 7.7 because it's not the best on the album, at least in my opinion, but I think it was good overall. What about you, Mon?
I gave it a 9.5. I thought it was the second best in the album for me.
I gave it a 9.7, and it's my favorite song from the album.
All right.
Wow. Number 7, I believe, The Chain.
Oh, okay. Can I start talking about this?
Yes.
Okay. I love this song. It's my favorite on the album. The opening to this song reminds me of some epic showdown. Star-Lord versus Ego. Anyone? Some of these songs are like bangers, but this one just takes it. What? No, I'm serious.
I'm sorry.
I know, but it's serious. It played in Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yeah,
It
that's
did.
what he was
Yeah, I
talking
know.
about.
Yeah, it did in the Star-Lord versus Ego showdown.
Okay.
Well,
That's cool.
Liking
Oh.
Avengers make you a nerd because quite a few people
Yes.
like. Okay, all right, that's fine. Yeah, some of these songs are like bangers, but this one just takes it to like a whole other level. Like this song just fills me with like pure determination. It's a brilliant way of having like calmer parts, like there's like calm parts, and then like absolutely bopping chorus. Like you listen to this song and you're just like filled with fire. It's one. I have to say, it's like one of my top favorite songs ever. Definitely gonna put this on like my top 25 playlist. The bass solo, about 3 minutes in, it works brilliant. The ending part, it works really good too. So yeah, I liked it.
Yeah, I thought it was has a very nice motivating feel to it. It kind of persuades you to keep moving forward, even if you're not really doing anything. You're just sitting down listening to the album. It still makes you want to like get up and like do something like going to change the world or something. That's kind of what I got from it. I also like the bass line a lot. Came in the build up to a great guitar solo, and the whole song just has a really nice, heavy, slow rhythm to it. And I mentioned on my comments on the first song, I thought the different voices didn't blend together very well. I thought it was very different on this one. I thought the voices blended together perfectly. Only criticism I have is this is one of those songs that's kind of badly mixed. I felt like the instrumental was a little too overpowering in comparison to the vocals. Overall, still a great song.
Oh yeah, definitely. Well, The Chain is not my favorite song on the album, just because I don't know why I have never really like thoroughly enjoyed The Chain as much as I probably should. I do really like the chorus, and then the end when they're singing about when they just repeat like the chain, keep us together. I really like that, and then I like the message that you can understand from the song. But I give the song an 8.4.
I gave it a 10.
I'm giving it a revised score of 8.5.
Crazy, a 10. Wow.
Yeah.
First
Oh
10.
my god.
Number 8, I believe. You Make Lovin' Fun.
All right. So, like I said with this, like with the other songs, this song just shows how Buckingham just can completely change his voice, like song by song. It's a very nice like blend of sounds. Like all the instrumentals just came together differently, but it made a pretty good piece. But I don't know. I don't have much to say about this song. It wasn't too interesting.
Yeah. I liked how Owen mentioned the whole instrumental layering thing. That's always something that I've found kind of fascinating. How like if you hear like, for example, the drum track by its own, then you hear like the bass track on its own. It might not sound like incredible, but like when you put them together, they create this beautiful atmospheric sound. I'm just giving an example, but I always found it fascinating how two different sounds can sound completely average on their own, but when they come together, they just sound so much better. This song, I really liked the slap bass, but I'm not sure how I felt about the arpeggios with the guitar in the background. But it did have some nice lyrics, and I like the reminiscent feel it has, blended with the whole classic rock vibe. It was all overall just a nice song.
It's very groovy, to say the least. And I especially like the chorus the most out of the song, which is a lot of the times, if a song doesn't have like a good chorus, I don't really like resonate as well with it. But I really think this one's good, and it's
Chorus is the part that's supposed to like stick in your brain.
Yeah, definitely. And I think this one chorus definitely stays there. Overall, I gave this a 7.2. Not my favorite, but still good overall.
I gave it a
9.
9.2.
Gave it an 8.4.
Number 9. I don't want to know.
Yeah. So I didn't think it was great. I have to say that the clapping significantly boosted its score because that was just something I thought was interesting. It had a good guitar. I wasn't such a fan of Nick's voice in this song compared to some of the other songs that she sings in.
This for me was where the album really started to take a turn for the worse. I thought the song was very average, just repetitive melodies, not very captivating, and just overall a very forgettable song. It didn't resonate very well with me.
Okay. I'm like mostly opposite.
Okay.
So I actually love this song, and I had never heard this song before. And so I just love, like, for me it's like a bop because the chorus, it, like, when I first heard this song, it was just stuck in my head the whole day. And and it's not the type of like song where I didn't like that the chorus was stuck in my head. It was one of the ones where I was really glad that it was, because I really liked how it felt, and just like singing it was great. And I was just bopping to it. I gave it an 8.7, pretty close to like a 9 though.
Yeah, I was pretty close to Robbie. I gave it an 8.8.
Gave it a 5.
Jeez.
Worst track on the album so far, in my opinion.
So number 10. Oh Daddy.
Oh Daddy.
Yeah, I had to listen to the opening like many times because there's sometimes when I listen to a song, I hear something and I'm like, I've heard that before, or like I've heard something like that before, but I just can't place it. And I probably had to like repeat the opening part many times until I like realized what it was. It kind of sounds like Led Zeppelin's "Stairway to Heaven." I don't know why. It definitely had that sort of vibe to it. The low piano chords, like the really low chords, it has a nice vibe to it for sure. It sort of has a weird meaning to it, but it definitely comes together well. There's so many unique noises in this song. I like that too. I like how there's like a moment where the guitar just slows down and speeds up, and the lyrics are generally repeated, but the instrumentals keep it from sounding repetitive, if that makes sense.
I agree with Owen that it had a similar vibe to Stairway to Heaven, except Stairway to Heaven's actually a good song, because this is garbage in my opinion. It's a failed attempt at being a tearjerker. It's just ruined by cringy lyrics and a bad instrumental. And there's some questionable artistic choices sprinkled throughout the song here, like weird background vocals that totally ruined the chorus. But if there's one thing positive I have to say about the song, I guess the drums are nice. This is easily my least favorite on the album.
Yeah, I didn't like it as much as I thought I would. I believe this one's my least favorite. Yeah, this one's my least favorite on the album. So it's my least favorite. But I really did like the one thing that I liked about it was the beginning, like right at the beginning. It reminded me of another great like nostalgic song that I had heard before, and I thought it that was great. But then getting into it, I was like, not very good, and I gave it the worst score, a 6.5.
I gave it a 9.3. I didn't think it was that bad.
Gave it a 4.
Oh, jeez.
That's
I
tough.
really didn't
That's
like it at all.
cold.
Yeah. Gold Dust Woman, number 11.
All right. Nyx definitely does a lot better with her voice in Gold Dust Woman than she did in I Don't Want to Know. There's so many. It's not my favorite song, but it really shows how this album just ended up influencing a big variety of genres. The chorus, I have to say, was a bit unsatisfying, but the guitar hammering at 3.5 minutes in, it does work well to create a theme. And the way it closes, I really liked. It almost gives me a Radiohead vibe.
Okay.
What about you, Milan?
Yeah, this track, along with the previous two ones, Oh Daddy and I Don't Want to Know, really make me wanna ask members of Fleetwood Mac, like what happened? It was so good, and then these three tracks, come on. I thought it was boring. It's not very captivating at all. The cowbell was a weird touch. The lyrics were poorly written. However, it did have a nice acoustic guitar in the background. It helped with the Western theme of the track a lot. But I also felt like it dragged on for too long. So I just wasn't feeling this track either very much. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I agree. I was talking to my mom actually about this song, and I told her that I didn't really like it, even though it's one of her favorite songs. I just, I don't know what about it. It's definitely like a good show of Stevie Nicks. It's just I just didn't really connect to it. I listened to it a few times and just never really changed the score. I kept it where it was after my first listen. I gave it like a 6.7, 6.8. I don't know, not the best, but it was okay.
I gave it a 9.1.
I give it a 5.
Silver Springs, the number 12 and the last song.
I thought it provided an exit to this album that sort of reminded me of like a closing theme from a TV show. It was like perfectly wrapped up. I also wonder if when it says "I don't want to know," it's like a cross reference. And the organ sounding instruments in the background really create a nice atmosphere. Halfway through the song, I felt it symbolized like you're finished listening to this album, but it symbolized the beginning to something new instead of like the ending from the album with the time cast a spell on you part. There was a bit where it calmed down between the halfway chorus and outro, and I felt like it broke the mood, but how good it was, like how good the exit to the song was, it made up for it for sure.
Yeah, I agree with Owen definitely that you guys probably expect me to slander this one, but no, I actually loved this song. I agree with Owen that it was a very nice send off to the album. It definitely wrapped everything up very well. I love the build up towards the end and the melodies that Fleetwood Mac incorporated here were fantastic and made the song very captivating. And despite the fact that the lyrics aren't exactly stellar and they're back at it again with the bad mixing, I still thought it was a great song that served as a fantastic ending to the album.
Definitely. What I thought about it is I didn't like the beginning as much, but when it hit like I believe what was the chorus at the middle, I just immediately loved it. and I
Definitely got better after the beginning.
I just started like just rocking out to it, and I really enjoyed the chorus, and at about the halfway mark, and to the end, I at first thought it was just gonna be one of the ones like the last few where I was just gonna give it an okay score, like fine, didn't really like it very much, but as soon as that hit, I was like boom, like top one of the top songs in the album. Just because of that, and I gladly listened to it a couple times. And it's definitely one of the ones on this album that I'd add to like a playlist of mine. I forgot about this score. I give it an 8.5, but I would probably give it a better score.
All right, I gave it a 9.4. I really liked it.
Give it an 8.8.
Okay, well that was
Right.
the last song in the album. That went pretty quickly.
So
Uh,
Still
let's
need to
talk
talk about the album as a whole.
yeah.
Yeah,
I feel like as a whole, it's not really meant to be a headphone sitting in room. I mean, it sounds good no matter where you listen to it, but I feel like this song is really meant to like be played on a speaker, like played on your phone speaker while you're like singing with some friends somewhere, or play it out your car speaker when you're going on a road trip and you're just really hyped up. And I've probably said it before, but I don't know. I just thought it was very, very unique. It's definitely my favorite album from the '70s, and it works as good as an album as the songs do individually. Like there's some albums that just work together, like they tell a story as a whole, and then there's some albums where they're just filled with like complete bops of songs, and I felt like this album kind of went in both categories. Like each one of the songs would work well in a movie, a TV show, or just playing in the background. I've listened to it a few times and would definitely listen to it many more times.
I liked it. I don't think I liked it as much as Owen or Robbie might. So it has its pros and cons. The positive points being that there were consistently great instrumentals, pretty good vocals for the most part, and a weird thing to notice, but the bass lines on this album were superb.
Oh, yeah.
And I also really like the guitar solos; they're pretty nice, and some acoustic guitar strumming is sprinkled throughout pretty much every song, and it just helped with the aesthetic a lot. However, it is not without its flaws. For example, I've mentioned this again and again. The mixing on this album is awful. The vocals a lot of the time feel drowned out by the electric guitar or the drums or the bass line. I feel like it could have helped. Could have been helped a lot with like a remaster. For example, I know there are remastered versions on the deluxe edition, but I haven't listened to those. I listened to the original.
that makes
maybe
sense.
it's better. Maybe it's better on that version. I'm not sure, but that's one thing I noticed. Another thing is I really disagree with Owen when he says every song is like very different from the previous one. I thought it could have used a lot more variation. It just feels like bop after bop after bop, and there's not much variety in the track list. Oh Daddy tries to be like a breath of fresh air from all those like happy dance tunes. But it's you know how I feel about Oh Daddy. This all results in it kind of feeling like a greatest hits compilation rather than a full cohesive album. Still a decent record. Might listen to it again. Doubt it, but I mean, not bad. Probably what it is.
Yeah. So for me, I actually really enjoyed it. Definitely one of my top albums. Just because I've known most of these songs most of my life. I do agree. I don't think like with Kendrick Lamar's album that we listened to, I think that one flows through the songs very well. With this one, I didn't really see like a cohesive theme to the album, but
Yeah, that's
I
one of the
didn't.
things I wrote down.
Yeah, it didn't really take away from it as much for me. just because I personally, while I like hearing something like a theme with it, it's not really like a priority for me. But
Right.
I still thought it was good, and I listened to it almost 4 times. With some of the songs on the album, I've listened to 10, 15, 20, probably like 50 times, just because I really love those songs. And definitely, I'd listen to the whole thing again. Maybe skip a couple songs like "Oh Daddy" or "Gold Dust Woman," but most of the key ones, I'll listen to the whole thing gladly.
Yeah.
But
I just before we get to scores, I just wanted to say something. I don't think it's completely mandatory for an album to have a cohesive theme. I do have some of my favorite albums aren't like sticking to one subject or like one theme or one concept throughout the entire thing. I don't think it needs to, but it becomes a problem when the album feels messy. It did feel messy for me in this case. So let's starting with Robbie. What was your score for the entire album?
so the first and second listen average, I got a 7.9, and then the third, I got the third and fourth, I got a like an 8.35, 8.4. But overall, I definitely give the album, like just my personal score, an 8.7. How about you,
All right.
What
Owen?
about you?
All right. Well, I hadn't listened. I didn't like really grown up with the album like Robbie, but I'd have to give it a 9.6. I just felt like it just really gave me energy, just listening
Wow.
to it. And I'd like to thank Robbie for introducing this album to me.
No
I
problem.
thought it was a decent album. I gave it a 6.4 out of 10. And our average score comes out to an 8.2. So
Okay.
definitely higher than Damn.
We also don't have Neve, but I feel like that would drop the score a lot because he didn't like it. Well, if anybody got this far, thanks for listening to our podcast. The next song we'll be reviewing, or the next album we'll be reviewing, is "OK Computer" by Radiohead. Right?
Radiohead.
Yes.
Yes, I
Classic.
love
Absolute
that album.
classic.
Yeah,
Thank you,
definitely.
Owen.
I'm so
Thank
excited
you.
for that.
But like I
Have you
said,
listened to
thanks
it?
for watching. Leave a like.
Have I listened to it? Oh, I grew
I
up
was
with
talking
it.
to Robbie.
Oh,
Oh, I've only listened to part of it.
Okay.
all right.
Well, stay tuned for that.
Coming out
Yeah,
like next
thanks for watching.
week. From when
Yes.
this is uploaded, probably next week. I don't know.
Probably.
We'll see. Stay
Join our
tuned.
Discord server.
Yeah.
Do
Yes,
that in the
please
description.
do.
Link in the description. Follow us on Twitter. We'll talk about the next albums that we'll be reviewing, and also we'll tweet about when the videos will come out.
All right. Yeah.
And-
There's we have a voting system for our next songs that we'll be starting. Our next albums we review that will be starting after our OK Computer review, and we put that on the Discord server, and we'd like our viewers to vote on that. So be sure to join.
Join the Discord server. We have lots of cool features. It's just an epic time. Feel free to let us know your opinion on the album if you've heard it. If you want to just chat with us about different music topics, and that's what the Discord server is for, so join that.
Yeah, thanks for watching. Like and subscribe.
Yep. See ya.
Bye.
Bye-bye.